So this is love. So this is love.
Hello and welcome to my channel, In Search of Wonder. My name is Anne and these are my weekly wonderings and wanderings. It is Monday afternoon, also known as Columbus Day. We've just had kind of a slow day, relaxing, getting stuff done around the house. Nothing major, nothing very exciting. But over the weekend, we went to my nephew's wedding and we helped with the setup and the takedown. And it was a really lovely wedding outside, and had a good time with family and friends and celebrating the wedding. So this weekend was a good time. And now I just want to, oh my goodness, it's a lovely autumn day. You can see the wind is blowing. No, the leaves are falling from the trees. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see the leaves fluttering on the video, but it is truly a lovely sight. It's honestly a little nippy out here, but I am enjoying the crisp, fresh air. And I want to talk about the books I've read, or am reading, in progress with. I am reading The Secret Diaries of Charlotte Bronte, which I picked last week in my trying the first paragraph tag video that I did. And I am enjoying it, but a couple of things. One, I'm just not getting as drawn into it as I was with other books I've read by Siri James. I'm about that far into it, maybe 10%. And it's a little bit slower moving, I guess. The other thing is, it's called The Secret Diaries, and it starts out as a diary entry, but then it quickly moves to Charlotte basically kind of writing a memoir of previous stuff that happened several years previously, retracing the details of her relationship with Arthur Nichols. And so the end result is not so much diary. So I don't know, that's just the format that the author chose to use. And being that it's called The Secret Diaries, I would have expected her to be writing in her diary as things are happening, like her impressions, and developing the story in that way. But instead, we're getting more of a retrospective look, as if she's writing a novel about her own life, which is a little bit of a different thing. So there is that. Now, occasionally, there are spots where she inserts like her thoughts and, says Dear Diary, and then she inserts, instead of just narrating what was happening in that point in the story, she inserts her thoughts on it and some retrospective elements to what she's relating about in the narrative. So there is some of that. Anyway, so the formatting is not what I was expecting. I'm not going to say that it's wrong or bad or poorly done. It's just not what I was expecting. And then the other thing is, there's a bit of a complaining tone so far, which is probably fairly realistic, but I'm hoping that we move on from the complaining tone and get to more of the meat of the story. But again, I'm not very far, so I'm hoping that it will pick up a little bit as we go on. So that's where I am with The Secret Diaries of Charlotte Bronte. And reading The Mysteries of Udolpho for the Jane Austen 250th birthday celebration. And let me tell you, I am surprising myself by how much I'm enjoying this. I finished volume 2 last night. I had some more time to read over the weekend that I have had in a while, which was a glorious blessing that I thoroughly enjoyed. And I spent most of that time reading this one not because I wanted to knock it off the list or get it done or move on from there, but because I was truly engrossed in the story, and it's a page turner for me. Anyways, I keep wanting to find out. There's always like a twist and a turn in the story, and I want to know what's happening next. Where are we going to go from here? So I am really enjoying The Mysteries of Udolpho. I am more than halfway through now and hoping to finish it up this week. So we will see. We will find out during the course of this week if I will indeed finish it. I'm reading more of it today. I'm trying to balance that with reading this one as well because I don't want to be reading these two forever. But anyway, really enjoying it. There is one aspect of the story that has not been as enjoyable for me. My only criticism so far is that our character Emily, she's a very sweet, good girl, and that's not the problem. I don't mind that. But sometimes I disagree with her interpretation of what is good. So she is, and this may possibly be spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled by the story, then skip ahead to the next chapter in the video. But at this point in the story, Emily is at Udolpho, which is a castle owned by her aunt's husband, so no direct relation to her except by blood. But he has control of her because he married her aunt, who is her legal guardian. And so she's in his castle, his rundown castle that's literally falling apart. And he is a desperate man who has no scruples and is overburdened with gambling debts. And so he is doing everything he can to get the money that he needs, A, to pay his gambling debts, and B, to gamble some more. So he is using Emily and her guardian, her aunt, for his own nefarious purposes to accomplish this. Now, one of the things is Emily's aunt, Madame Montoni, she had, in the marriage settlements, she had retained for herself, which was a smart woman, she had retained for herself certain settlements that were hers and hers alone, that her husband could not seize without her signing them over to him. And so he blows through, like in the first year of marriage, he blows through all of the money that she brought to their marriage. And so that he wants to get his hands on this money that she withheld from him. And she refuses to give it to him. Now, she's not a smart woman. She's not a kind woman. She is, in her own way, just as devious and despicable to an extent. She doesn't have the evil intention of her husband, but she's just not a kind, good person. So she, however, has the intelligence and the strength of character to resist Montoni in this aspect of giving over her settlements, and she refuses to sign the papers. And so he threatens her with all manner of things, and they're constantly fighting about it, and he's yelling at her, whatever. Which brings me to my point. Emily, our main character here, she is then trying to get her aunt to, at the very least, not to resist him so forcefully, but to be more, I don't know what word you want to use, civil, polite, yielding, whatever, I don't know, because she feels very, like, she's convinced that her aunt is being wrong. And that's obviously our author's perspective as well, that the aunt is just resisting not only to her own detriment, but the character, like it's another demonstration of her poor character that she is resisting Montoni so strongly. And I would disagree with that. I think Montoni is an evil man. He has no right to that money. And even if she, which doesn't necessarily bear out in the story because she doesn't really get a chance to do that, but if she were to actually give him the settlements that he wants, he would blow through those and then he would be done with her and he would end up killing her anyway. So what is the point of feeding into his vice and his passion and enabling him in that way just to give yourself a little more time and to save yourself? You're not really going to save yourself in the end. But Emily feels in her goodness, because Anne Radcliffe is definitely portraying her as an innocent victim, and the person, like, her perspective, Emily's perspective is the right perspective, is the righteous path, the right one to follow. Emily just wants her aunt to roll over and play dead, basically. I would disagree that is the right thing to do. And so I did not like that part of the story, but otherwise, I'm enjoying the adventure, the wild ride that we're on, the twists and turns in the story, the scary things that are happening to Emily. This is like Gothic literature at its best. The best one that I've read of the genre, for sure. So I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm enjoying it more than I did The Romance of the Forest by the same author. That one was good, but this one is just keeping me reading, and I'm really interested in it. So I do recommend The Mysteries of Udolpho, even though it is a little bit longer. Probably longer than it really needs to be, but it's definitely very good, and I'm enjoying it. So that is what I have on my plate reading. I don't have any plans beyond those books at the moment. I think I do want to read something by Janie Jo Wright. I need to look at where I had requested it from a library, and I think that I was like, I don't think there was anybody ahead of me, but I don't think I've actually picked it up. So I need to go like see if it's available at the library yet, so I can pick it up. Not today because it's a holiday, but at some point I need to be able to pick up that book. That is another one that I want to read in October. So those are my current reads and plans for the week. We'll see how much of them I actually get done as the week goes on. And I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, it's Tuesday night, and sorry for the terrible lighting here. It's late at night. Well, it's like 8 o'clock or something. And I was on my way home from work and piano lessons and everything. And I wanted to stop by the library because as much as I hate taking a detour on my way home, I just want to get home. But I had a notification earlier today that a book came in that I had requested. So I wanted to stop and pick it up because I didn't know when else I would get to that this week. So I got Night Falls on Predicament Avenue by Janie Jo Wright, which was one of the Christie Award winners or finalists this year. And that is the prompt for Jeanette's Jane Reads Christian Fiction Challenge. So that is my pick for November. And I'm excited to get to this as soon as I am finished with The Secret Diaries of Charlotte Bronte. And while I was there, we were talking last night on my live discussion about cozy mysteries. There were some great recommendations from Kelly and from people in the chats. And I kept saying there's a series at the library, and I can picture it in my mind. I can picture the books where they are on the shelf, but I don't remember the author's name and I don't remember any of the titles. But I've always thought when I saw them, I should check them out and just read them. But I never have. So I was like, okay, I'm at the library. I'm going to go find those and figure out. It was indeed Amanda Flower. That was the one that I was thinking of. So I think Alma maybe had mentioned, no, Janie, I think, had mentioned that she was enjoying the Amish Candy Shop series. And the first one in that series is Assaulted Caramel, which I thought was so fun. Such a fun title. So I have tried to read one book by Amanda Flower before, didn't love it, ended up DNFing it. But that was about Emily Dickinson. And I think that was part of why I didn't like it. So I think that I will much more prefer something like this. So I am going to give her another try and see. I probably won't spend too much time and energy on trying to decide if I like her as an author or not, but this seemed like a fun one to try. And then Kelly had mentioned that she really liked the Seaside Cafe mystery series by Bree Baker, which is one of the pen names of this author. And so they had the whole series there, I think. And so I got the first, I think this is the first one, Live and Let Try. I could not find series numbers anywhere, which is kind of annoying. But I think this is the first one. Whatever. This is the one I'm going to read. So when am I going to get to these? I don't know. But I got them from the library. And now I'm going to go home. Hello. It is Friday evening, Friday afternoon. And this is the first chance I've had in days to film a clip, really. And so I'm going to be wrapping up here. Essentially, but I don't have a great deal of time. I am about to go to my son's final regular season soccer game. He hasn't had a great season, to be honest, unfortunately, but this is one of the few games that I have been able to attend. So I am happy to be able to see his game, and then we're going to hang out with grandparents for the evening. And so those are our fun evening plans. I stopped to get myself an iced latte. Sorry, the lighting is not great here because of where the sun is. Anyway,
So I've finished volume 3 of, what am I reading? Anne Radcliffe, The Mysteries of Udolpho. And this book is really keeping me reading. I'm finding that I used to be someone who read multiple books at a time, like sometimes 3, 4, 5. But lately, because I've been having such a hard time finding time to read, I have really been like honing in on one book at a time to just like finish it and to feel like I'm accomplishing something. So I've really been focusing on that one over The Secret Diaries of Charlotte Bronte. And so I've made more progress on that this week. I'm more than halfway through. I'm like 75% of the way through. I've got 100 some pages left. So I'm hoping to finish that up tonight or early tomorrow. And really enjoying it. Besides the fact that I just want to finish a book, I am also just, it's really compelling. The story, there are twists and turns, and there's always something happening. There's, you know, every time you turn the page, there's something new going on. And I mean, it's possible there could be too many twists and turns in the story, the way it goes. It takes a very windy route to get to the end for sure. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the ride. It's not a perfect book, but it's very enjoyable. And I'm liking it. And I'm feeling like it's a 4.5 star right now. One thing that I really love, that I don't know if I've mentioned it in my Discord, but I don't know if I've mentioned it here, but I'm really loving the way music is woven into the story. And it's kind of hard to explain without listening to it, but there's music plays a key part in how the storyline develops. And I really like that. It's really cool. I like how Anne Radcliffe did that, how she wrote it into the story, and how it's almost like a character in the story, music is. And how it creates mysteries, but it also solves mysteries. I can't really explain it. You have to read it to understand what I'm talking about, but I am enjoying that aspect of it. I really like that. So one thing that I do wonder is our main character, Emily, like it seems like she never sleeps. The girl is up all night for one reason or another. A lot of times it's anxiety, or sometimes it's because she's wanting to see something will happen, or she feels unsafe, so she wants to make sure there's, anyway, lots of staying up all night. I don't know when she sleeps. Any other person would be half crazy by now because of it. But, you know, I guess it happens when all of these dreadful circumstances take place in your life. You know, the sleep falls apart, I guess. So anyway, poor Emily never gets any sleep, but except when she faints. Someone in my Discord said maybe that's when she sleeps, when she faints, because she does faint a lot. That's another thing. She faints a lot. So these Gothic girls, that seems to be their mode of handling situations. It's faint, get away. Sure happens frequently. Anyway, so that's what I got going on reading wise. I'm going to go watch a soccer game and spend time with the family. And I feel like there was something else I wanted to mention here, but I don't remember what it is. So if I remember, I'll make another clip, but probably that's it. So long. Farewell. I hope you have a great week.